video covers everything that we did in class today on Tuesday, January 4th. The first thing you want to do is just head back to the main folder. So you want to be in the main Tuesday folder. And you'll just click the classwork link to open up whatever period you're in. You'll only see your period. So just go ahead and click the link to open up the document. So for example, if you're in period 6, you would open up period 6. And make sure that you sign in with Google. I'm not going to because I don't have a student account, but make sure that you click on continue with portfolio and you log in with Google. So don't do what I'm doing. The first thing that you need to do is you need to complete the do now. The do now is on the first slide. So go ahead and pause this video and complete slide 1. Okay, so you should have given slide 1 a try, at least that first set of questions. And let's take a look at question 1. We're looking for the unit rate in question 1. And when we're talking about the cost of something, that usually means the cost per one. And so if I was looking for the cost per one taco, I would take the cost that I know, $3.75, and I would divide it by 5 tacos because I'm spending $3.75 split evenly between 5 items. And $3.75 divided by 5 is equal to 75 cents per taco. And so for the other questions, like questions 2 and 3, if you were looking for miles per hour, or if you were looking for cupcakes per hour, you would solve these questions in the same way. You're taking the information that you know, like cost per one, and you're writing the division sentence in the same order as the unit rate that you are looking for. Okay, so today's main learning target is I can compare rational numbers and use them to describe temperature and elevation in context. Rational numbers is a little bit of a complex definition, but what we need to know for now is that we're going to be working to compare positive and negative numbers, and specifically to use positive and negative numbers to explain temperature and elevation. So go ahead and take a look at slide 3. And on slide 3, I'm going to have you complete 1.1 using a thermometer. It said here's a weather thermometer. The 3 of the numbers have been left off. What numbers go in the boxes and what temperature does the thermometer show? So go ahead and pause this video and complete 11.1 or 1.1. Okay, so if we zoom in on this thermometer, I can see that it's counting by 5s, which means that between 30 and 20, I would have, I'm going to shrink my text down so it fits, 25 degrees. Between 15 and 5, I would have 10 degrees. And between 0 and negative 10, I have negative 5 degrees Celsius. Now, if I'm thinking about what the temperature is on this thermometer specifically, I'm looking at where the gray line intersects the axis. And in this case, it's not really an axis, it's a number line. But I'm looking for at what number of degrees does the thermometer stop? And I can see that it's between 0 degrees Celsius and negative 5 degrees Celsius. And if you can imagine a number line that we broke down where we actually counted by ones all the way down to negative 5. So 0 to negative 5, negative 1, negative 2. It would go like this, right? We go down by negative 1 degree each time. And so this red line is probably somewhere around negative 2 or negative 3 degrees, right? And so you could estimate either one. I'm going to write negative 2 degrees. I think it's about negative 2 degrees in thermometer. So in 1.2, there are 4 thermometers, and your job is to estimate the value of each one. You've got here, here, I'm drawing the red lines kind of where the thermometer ends. So go ahead and pause this video and tell me in these boxes at the bottom, what is the temperature shown on each thermometer? Once you've done that, answer questions 2, 3, and 4. So we're doing all of 1.2. Pause the video and complete 1.2. Okay, so let's take a closer look. You should have tried this on your own. If we look at thermometer A, we can see that it ends one space below +5, which is just +4. Thermometer B ends 3 spaces below 0. So this is an example where we might want to practice counting down into the negatives. We have 0, -1, -2, -3, then -4, then -5. And so B ends right at -3. C, we can see is just a little bit above 5. I'm going to call it 5.5 or 5.5 because it's not quite at the line for 6. We can see that here, but it's above 5. And then D, we can see is below -1, but it's not quite at -2. And so I'm going to go ahead and call that -1.5 or -1.5. And so the highest temperature is thermometer C because thermometer C is 5.5 degrees. It's in the positive, right? And it's the highest temperature. We can see that the line for thermometer C is higher than any other temperature. Now, the lowest temperature is going to be the temperature for which we could draw the lowest line, where it's the lowest on the thermometer. And in this case, it's going to be thermometer B, which is -3 degrees. Now, notice that you might think that -1.5 is less than -3. But when we're talking about temperature, it is more negative. So -3 is more negative than -1.5, which means it's going to be much colder. It's going to be much colder. And question 4 says, what if the temperature outside is -4 degrees Celsius? Is that colder or warmer than the coldest temperature shown? Well, we know the coldest temperature shown is -3, and -4 is more negative. So is that colder or warmer? If you don't have an answer for 4 yet, go ahead and type it now. So you should have said that -4 is colder than -3 because it is more negative. Or you could also say that it is farther from the positive values. Okay, let's take a look at slide 4. Slide 4 is the final slide I'm going to have you complete if you were absent from class today. And on slide 4, all that you need to do is estimate the sea level of each of the animals here. So you can see that in this graph, we have a sea level of 0. That's our starting sea level, is 0. And we can see that some of the animals are above sea level and some of them are below. Now, it might be a little bit hard to estimate, but you can just estimate where the eyes of the animal are. So, for example, this dolphin to me looks like it's about 3 meters above sea level. So, here are your directions. Your directions are 1, to complete slide 4. When you're done with slide 4, that is the last thing you are going to do in Classkick for today. Then you have 2 more things to do. You're going to complete the exit ticket and you are going to complete the homework. Now, the exit ticket, you can always pause this video to look at your to-do list. The exit ticket is here. It's in the main Tuesday folder. And the homework is also here in the main Tuesday folder. So make sure that once you're caught up in Classkick, you've also done the exit ticket and the homework. And if you've finished that to-do list, you are fully caught up for missing class on Tuesday.